Hey y'all, hi. So today I'm going to do something that I kind of intimated in past videos that I might do. And then a lot of you were like, yes, please do that. And then I was like, yes, please, I would like to do that. And today I'm going to give myself like a fake scenario and do makeup for it. And it's not even that fake because this is something that not only am I likely to do in my life just in general, but I'm actually going to be doing it in my life soon. So it's kind of a test run. Oh my gosh, Hannah, just say what the thing is. Focus like a normal YouTuber and say what you're going to do. Today, I'm going to put on the makeup that I would wear for a dinner. I kind of want it to be specific. So let's say that I'm going to dinner, some sort of event with other people who are people who put themselves together. So like people who wear makeup, people who get dressed up, people who polish themselves up. So I know that I'm going to feel comfortable kind of doing the most in a way, or like doing the most for the setting. It's a dinner, so it's like evening, low light, and it's semi-formal-ish, and there's going to be photography. So let's say that those are the factors. Basically not a formal event, not a gala, my friends. But we're doing more than just putting ourselves together. We're really putting on makeup, like makeup. I want to sort of figure out what I would do now as me, because this came out of all of these videos that I made, all two videos that I made about my makeup style evolving and kind of that journey that I went on a couple of weeks ago. So let's see what I would look like now under those specific circumstances. I hope this introduction is not completely unhinged in retrospect, and I hope that you haven't all clicked away by now. If you happen to be new to my channel and you stuck it out through that convoluted intro, welcome. My name is Hannah. This is my YouTube channel. I talk about aesthetics and beauty. I'm also a writer. I will put my book link down below. I published a book this year. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. You know what? Before even getting my brows together, I'm going to do my complexion because I feel like the me of today going to an event like this, I want to create a bit more seamless. No, you know what? I don't know if that's what I want. I was going to say I want to create a bit more seamless of a complexion than usual, which maybe I do a little bit. But one of the things that's interesting is that this is the Ilia Skin Milk. My love for this product has not waned for skin prep. This is what I do. I smack it into the skin. This is me like getting ready to put on makeup in the morning. I'm like glamour. And you know, once you smack it in like that, pushing it into the skin, it all goes in and you can put on another layer. That really plumps up the skin. It's fine. I'm fine. Here are my trusty current complexion products. It's the Exa Green Color Corrector and the Refi Concealer in the shade 01 and the shade 03, which I'll mix together. The Refi Concealers have to be shaken. There's always this negotiation going on for me between trying to put on an amount of makeup that makes my skin look absolutely seamless in pictures and on camera, but then in person, there's more visible makeup on the skin. Between that and just putting a sheer or kind of semi-sheer layer of makeup on the skin, which means that a lot of imperfections show through, especially in real life. But in real life, I also, in that case, look a little freer, just a little more free-spirited, just a little bit more at ease, kind of, you know? Normally, I would say that second thing is what I go for in the day-to-day, but at an event like this, I would maybe do the first thing. But it's funny, what I'm doing is kind of checking in with my current self, and I actually kind of feel like my current self wants the second thing for an event too. I'm gonna start with this green. Yeah, I think what I want is just broad strokes, pretty sheared out skin coverage, pretty glossy, flawed skin, very glossy cheeks, like really glossy face, a strong grungy eye that's pretty simple, not too sculpted in the brows, and like really glossy lips. I think that that's what I want for this setting. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna put these earrings on. These earrings are from a really beautiful small brand called Dauphine. I will link them in the description box down below. They are exactly the kind of thing that I would wear to an event like the one that I described. I like them because they're so special, but the profile is very slim, very demure. I feel like they are very demure. And they're gold plated and the post is gold vermeil, so they don't irritate my sensitive ears. And they look great with the ear party. Like they look great with the other small, delicate piercings. I'm just a big fan. Every time that I've gone out lately to anything, like even to book club, like I went to book club and I wore these. What are we doing? Okay, so I color corrected a little bit. I'm just gonna put on maybe a little more of this than I ordinarily do. Oh, I thought this was the darker one, but it's the lighter one. Yeah, that's more than I usually do of the lighter one. So it is gonna be a bit more coverage than usual. And I'm gonna have to balance that out by moving some of it to the other side. So a little more all over coverage than usual, but I might not go in and meticulously spot conceal like I used to do for events like this. I'm going to use the tiniest bit of this powder because it has a little coverage just on a couple of spots. I have some healing blemishes. But I'm very pleased with that, even for an event, especially because I'm going to be putting on a lot of highlight later and really making the skin super glossy. What it looks like is healthy, glowy, plump skin because I did so much skin prep. Healthy, glowy, plump skin with visible healing blemishes and some scarring, but the contrast between the unblemished and unscarred skin and those spots is pretty low. Like it's pretty low contrast because of the wash of concealer that's over them, a little bit of powder. So you can see it, you can see the unevenness, but it's not standing out starkly and it's not super noticeable. And then overall, my skin looks incredibly healthy and not cakey at all. And if it's a choice between healthy, plump, glowy skin with visible healing blemishes and cakey makeup, I want the first one, really under any circumstances. And I do feel like my skin can breathe in it and I can breathe in it. And yeah, I'm really pleased that I stopped here. For brows, I mentioned that I want kind of a tangled, unstructured brow. I'm actually going to go in with this $19.99 pomade. I've dyed my brows really recently, just a couple of days ago. So there's even still a little bit of dye clinging to the skin and adding structure. I don't think I need to use a pencil today. And this pomade will make them even fluffier. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I think for balance with the look that I'm imagining, a pomade brow is like all that I need. So let's go to the center focus. I love an eyes focused look, and it just doesn't make as much sense for my life as frequently as it used to. I feel like it tends to, even a messy, grungy eye, it tends to make more sense for some kind of event. I used to wear that kind of look a lot because I would be going out dancing a lot and it made sense for that. It definitely makes sense for a dinner like this, but it's just proportionally the number of days of the year that it makes sense to do this kind of thing has been totally overshadowed by like the majority, which is just a simple eye, a clean eye, or maybe a little highlighter on the eye, bare eye, a little bit of mascara, and then maybe even going strong with a lip for something, but not necessarily the eye. This is all just to say, projecting into this situation, it's like, oh, an opportunity to do something like Wear or a Defiance, which has replaced Tom Ford Naked Bronze for me. It's discontinued. And just smudge it all over the lids, top and bottom, and then add a little gloss with the topper that's in here. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I just finished putting a light layer of this like all over my lids and buffing it out. As always, pretty high, like pretty close to my brows, just to try to cover as much surface area as possible. I have hooded eyes and I want to make sure that you can still see the shadow even when my eyes are open and I'm looking like up through my lids. But it's interesting. I found myself not wanting to bring the shadow as far out. Here, I'll zoom you in. In the past, I think I would have covered also this area. I'll use this little brush to show you this area, like drawing a little like circle there. And because I wanted, for the same reason, I wanted to kind of make the eyes bigger and like the surface area of my lid covered with shadow, make that as much as possible, as big as possible. But this would be kind of a tricky area for me. The plane of my face really changes there. And so it would be harder to get it even and get a little bit out of hand. But I always did it. I never would leave that. It's like this area between here and the tail of my brow. I never would leave that empty like I have today. I think I always thought I was creating a larger and more lifted eye look by bringing this buffed out shadow all the way out there. And I didn't do it today because I don't want it to be messy. I didn't want it to give me trouble. I was just trying to keep it a little more demure, like trying to keep it a little more inside the lines. I mean, most of my lid is covered with this shadow. It's just more in the center, more up and down around, more round and less kind of pulling out into an almond shape than I've done in the past. And I think it's kind of just like less fighting the natural shape of my lids. Trying to draw it out, pull it out here, it's like trying to elongate the eye. And here I've just covered the surface area of my lid in the shape of my eye, kind of. So I noticed myself doing it, and that kind of represents a change from how I used to do even this kind of thing. For the buffing, I was using the Rephr 15, and then I went back with the 23, and I just brought the shadow all the way to the corner of the lid down here, like the lash line, but then I didn't like buff it out here. I just brought it down here and stopped. And it's messy, it's imperfect, and I'm going to cover it with some shine in a little bit anyway, but I wanted to kind of check in about what I noticed myself doing that was different. Now I'm going to take this 23 brush and I'm going to add shadow to the lower lash line and smudge it out. Okay, I realized I wanted an eyeliner, so I went and got the Victoria Beckham bronze eyeliner in a oldie but a goodie. Wow. So this eyeliner, just smudging it on like the outer half of the lower lash line, waterline, and then a little bit in that spot in the corner of the lash line and then halfway across the top lash line really does a lot to add glamour, dimension, a little bit of polish, intentionality, bring the eyes alive a little bit. And with a one and done look, I feel like this little step of just a slightly different color and putting something on the waterline instead of leaving it blank, that's the difference between it being a bit more casual of a one and done look and a bit more polished of a one and done look. But I'm still going to go another extra mile and use the topper from this shadow. So almost like halo eye vibes, I'm just putting it right in the middle from the lash line all the way up pretty much to the brow, like a column of shine right in the middle. Because if I put it all over the lid, it would obscure some of the depth of the bronze shadow and it would lighten the whole eye, and in doing so kind of flatten the dimension that I've put there. Okay, so it's not really a one and done look in that it's not like one eyeshadow only. I used the eyeshadow cream, I used the liner, and I also used this topper. But it is not one of those paint by number looks that has like a crease shade buffed into the crease, a lid shade, an outer corner shade, above the crease blending shade. You know what I mean? Where it's like all of these different little surface areas with different colors in them. It's just kind of like one wash and then a little bit of polish. Let's finish this off with some mascara. I want a heavier mascara, so I'm going to apply this lash prototype from Make Beauty. My friend Matt was visiting the other day and he was wearing the Ilia mascara that I talked about. I think it was like my best mascara of the year, a year or two ago. And I had said that when I picked a mascara to give to my cousin for Christmas, of all the mascaras I'd ever tried, that was the one I picked. It's so lengthening, so incredibly beautiful. And his eyelashes looked unbelievable. And all day I was just like staring into his beautiful eyelashed eyes. Now all I can think about is getting my hands on the Ilia mascara again. It's like everything. Every other mascara that I use, I'm like, but it's not the Ilia. This isn't bad though. It's so wet, but it still manages to be really thickening. I mean, I say it's not bad. I think this was my favorite mascara last year, actually. This one from Make Beauty, and it was the Ilia the year before. Okay, this is so interesting because with the addition of the mascara, this is really shaping up to be one of those looks that's kind of a cross between the old me and the new me in terms of how I do my makeup. And I think that the thing that's really going to keep it on this side, on the new fresh side, is everything else being really light. So I'm so glad I went relatively light with the skin look. For cheeks, I'm just going to do highlight, and I'm going to highlight a lot, but have it be really sheer and glossy and no blush, pretty much no more color on the face, I think, and really just letting this eye be the makeup moment, but having everything else be really fresh and shiny. So Surratt Torch Lumiere in Diamante, really layering it onto the cheeks and to the bridge of the nose, tapping it onto that spot in the corner of my eyes where I didn't put eyeshadow, so that the planes of the face there that curve around are kind of spangly and glossy and high lit instead of having eyeshadow be weird and patchy in that spot. And then also taking it up onto the outer half of my brow bone underneath my brows to kind of meet the glitter from the center of the lid right at the top of the arch of the brow. I love this product and I really love the placement of it there and how much gloss there is like around here. Couldn't be happier with that as an element of this look. And for the lips, do you see me turning around to shop my stash mid-video? Very demure, very mindful. Ami Collet lip treatment oil, which is really just a beautiful lip gloss in the shade Excellence. So again, keeping it neutral, glassy, like high shine, and relatively natural on the rest of the face. So it does look like makeup. What's on my cheeks and lips does look like makeup. But again, we're going to a place where makeup is worn. That's where we're going in the world of the brief of this look, of this video. But the makeup wearer that I am now, I feel like I'm more aware of the need for balance than ever. And if I'm going to do an eye look like this, I'm going to make sure that everything else feels really easy to wear. The cheek, the lip, the colors on the cheek and the lip. So that's it. It's a lot for me right now, but I feel like it's just enough and not too much for something pretty fancy. And it's been really fun to do this. What do you want to see makeup for if I do something like this again? It could be any kind of event, like first day of school or winter wedding or like an actual gala, In the past, I've done holiday party. I would love to do that again, but kind of from where I sit now, rediscovering the way I do my makeup now that there's been a little bit of of a shift, and it's like there is a lot of the old that's still in there, but there's a new perspective. So I'd like to take that down a bunch of different paths, and I'm really curious to know what your suggestions and desires are for that. Thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed coming along with me for this one, and I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.